Hi guys, so this is gonna be a video about the next big superhero movie of this year, and it is The Suicide Squad. It comes out in August, and before that, what better to get a refresher about all the supervillains that you're gonna see in this movie. Some of you guys who are watching shows like Arrow and Flash, you ought to know some of the villains like Deadshot and Harley Quinn because these shows did a certain version of these supervillains. But just so you know, that Suicide Squad is a bunch of supervillains who work for the US government in exchange for reduced prison terms. They're supervised by Amanda Waller, who works with the government and who also has explosives implanted in their brains should they become uncontrollable. So let's get going with supervillain number 1, and he's called the Slipknot. Slipknot's real name is Christopher Weiss, and before working for the squad, he worked for a chemical company where he was able to develop a formula for super strong ropes. Now, if the squad is going against a really strong enemy, he can just tie them up with his rope, which are impossible to break free from. Next up is Captain Boomerang, who's played by Jay Courtney. So raised in abject poverty, this guy made good of his time by learning every tip and trick there is with the boomerang. And as he grew up, he created the alias Captain Boomerang and began a life of crime. It's believed he has boomerangs that can do practically everything from creating shockwaves to generating electricity, exploding, and whatnot. The next supervillainess of Suicide Squad is the Enchantress. As her name suggests, she's all about magic. She can heal the members of the squad and teleport as well. She's in the squad to learn to control her powers as well as her inner darkness. Perhaps she is the only member of the squad whose powers are mystical in nature. The next supervillain we have is Katana or Tatsu Yamashiro, whichever you find easy to pronounce. As her look suggests, she is a Japanese ninja assassin, and she joins the Suicide Squad in exchange for information about her husband's killers and to avenge his death. Surely she's one of the nicer people in the squad, having her own agenda rather than being one of the criminals. Also, she is a bodyguard to Rick Flag, the good guy in the middle who heads the squad. She protects him from the bunch of supervillains in the Suicide Squad. And interestingly, her sword, a katana, which is known by the name of Soul Taker, is believed to trap the souls of every enemy that she kills with it. And at the same time, it also possesses the soul of her late husband, who she is often seen speaking to. And this is a TV version from the show Arrow. Next up, we have Rick Flag. Rick Flag is a military guy who has been forced by circumstances to lead this bunch of supervillains called the Suicide Squad. He's the closest one can find to a nice guy over here. A bunch of his work is to handle the members of the Suicide Squad and their tantrums, and also to ensure that they carry on the mission as commanded. The next and perhaps the most awesome villain of the Suicide Squad is gonna be Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn was an ex-girlfriend of the Joker, who she was also a psychiatrist of. She met him at the Arkham Asylum, from where they formed this unusual alliance. But the Joker ended up making this psychiatrist of his even more crazier than him. The blue-red color on her face, as fascinating as it might look, isn't her own choice of fashion. She was dipped by the Joker in the very chemicals he used to bleach his own body, thus giving her this look. The insanity that the Joker sparked in her made her commit terrible crimes such as murder, for which she was arrested and recruited in the Suicide Squad later on. Ironically, it is Joker himself now that Harley and the Suicide Squad are after. Next ahead, we have Deadshot, whom Will Smith is playing. Deadshot is an assassin, a marksman, and he's called Deadshot because he never misses. He's a seriously good shooter. Also, he has a habit of deliberately putting himself in situations where he can get killed primarily so that he can die in some glorious manner. Deadshot's personality is starkly different from Batman, whom we are also gonna see in this movie in a cameo. Unlike Batman, who hates killing and is very silent, Deadshot loves guns and he loves to kill, and also he won't shut up. Deadshot's identity is also accentuated by his mask and an eyepiece that he wears to shoot his targets spot on. Next to him is Killer Croc. Killer Croc, or Waylon Jones, was born with a skin condition that makes him all scaly and edgy throughout his body. Think of him as Princess Shireen from Game of Thrones. So this huge monster of a man used to live with his aunt, who abused him often until one day he killed her with his sharp teeth and ran off into a life of crime as his condition became more reptile-like. The last supervillain in the Suicide Squad is El Diablo. El Diablo, or Chato Santana, has the power to generate and control fire through his hands. In his past, he had surrendered to the police after accidentally killing innocent people by setting fire to a building believed to be full of criminals. While he was put on death row at the Belle Reeves prison, his cell was filled with gas And as a result of this torture that he endured, he gained his powers and thus became a member of the Suicide Squad. So that was an overview of all the super villains of the Suicide Squad that we're gonna see in the movie. And one more point, the Joker is not a part of the squad. He's gonna be in the movie but not as a member. Rather, he'll be the person whom the squad will be running after. So I hope you guys liked the video, in which case do subscribe for more such stuff. Until then, thanks so much for watching and cheers.